Imagine this. Your employees are frustrated. Your team is gossiping more than working. People are offended by feedback, and resistance to change is the daily soundtrack in the office. Sound familiar? According to Cy Wakeman, this isn't just how workplaces are, it's a sign that your organization is hemorrhaging energy due to something she calls emotional waste. In No Ego, Wakeman delivers a tough but liberating truth. Most workplace suffering doesn't come from the work itself, it comes from how people think about their work. The culprit? The ego. Not in the narcissistic, strutting peacock way, but in a more subtle, internal narrative way. The part of us that resists feedback, clings to being right, and thrives on being a victim of circumstance. This book isn't a touchy-feely pep talk. It's a no-nonsense blueprint to build accountability, shred entitlement, and make peace with reality. In a world obsessed with engagement and happiness metrics, Wakeman dares to say, maybe it's not the leader's job to create happiness, it's the employee's job to bring it. Chapter 1, Reality-Based Leadership begins with accountability. Cy Wakeman isn't just tossing out catchy slogans. She's introducing a whole new leadership philosophy called reality-based leadership. The first principle? Stop arguing with reality. Her approach is almost zen in its bluntness. Stress isn't from the work, it's from the stories you tell yourself about the work. Your boss didn't disrespect you with a short email, they just sent an email. That policy change isn't unfair, it's just reality. The ego thrives on these stories, generating drama, resentment, and disengagement. To cut this emotional waste, leaders must ditch their role as therapists-in-chief and start becoming reality guides. This means helping people deal with what is, not what they wish things were. And it begins with a radical tool, personal accountability. Accountability isn't punishment, it's empowerment. When people take ownership of their circumstances, they find their power again. Wakeman tells leaders to stop enabling drama and start coaching people to rise above their egos. Because when people stop wishing for a different reality and start working with the one they've got, performance soars. Chapter 2, Ego, the true cost of workplace drama. You know that mental loop where someone cuts you off in a meeting and you spend the next hour mentally replaying it, imagining snappy comebacks? That's the ego in action, and it's expensive. Wakeman quantifies it. The average employee spends 2.5 hours per day in drama. That's right, 2.5 hours lost to venting, complaining, gossiping, and resisting change. Multiply that across your team or company, and you're bleeding productivity and morale. The ego loves drama because it positions us as victims. It makes us feel morally superior and emotionally justified. But ego-based behaviors, blaming, judging, resisting, don't solve problems. They delay solutions and drag out results. So what's the antidote? Self-reflection. Wakeman gives us a deceptively simple tool. Ask yourself, what would great look like right now? Instead of reacting from the ego, this question cuts through emotion and pulls you toward your higher self, the part of you that's solution-focused, resilient, and responsible. Chapter 3, Engagement without accountability is chaos. We've all seen it. A company becomes obsessed with engagement scores. Leaders start rolling out ping-pong tables, free snacks, and mental health days like candy. But here's the rub. If you try to boost engagement without first demanding accountability, you're feeding entitlement. Wakeman flips the script on engagement. She argues that we've misunderstood it as something we have to give employees, rather than something they're responsible for bringing. Her bold assertion, engagement is a choice. It's not something that can be gifted. It's earned through accountability. She draws a clear line between engaged employees and accountable employees. The best ones aren't those who are just happy or satisfied. They're the ones who show up ready to deliver, regardless of circumstances. These are the high accountables. And the kicker? When you lead with accountability, engagement naturally follows. This chapter is a wake-up call to stop babysitting emotional states and start building a culture where results and reality come first. Chapter 4. Stop arguing with reality. This chapter might just be Wakeman's philosophical core. She challenges one of our most cherished illusions, that life and work should be fair, smooth, and custom-tailored to our preferences. Spoiler alert, it's not. Reality doesn't care about your opinions, and your suffering often comes from fighting against what is. Leaders waste precious energy trying to soften the blow of reality for employees. Layoffs happen. Budgets get cut. Leaders change. Wakeman says, stop trying to rescue people from discomfort. Instead, coach them to grow through it. She introduces a guiding mantra: suffering is optional. Yes, change is hard, but growth only happens when we stop playing the victim and get back in the driver's seat. As she says, the pain is real, but the suffering is optional. The sooner your team learns that, the faster they evolve. Chapter 5. The Accountability Switch, from Victim to Victor. In this chapter, Wakeman introduces a game-changing framework, the accountability switch. It's a shift in mindset from, why is this happening to me? To, how can I respond to this? It's the mental judo that flips powerlessness into ownership. She offers practical tools like the self-reflection toolkit, which includes questions such as, what do I know for sure? What could I do to help? If I were great right now, what would I do? These aren't just self-help fluff. They're the surgical instruments of a reality-based leader. They help cut through emotional fog and bring clarity. When you guide your team through these questions, you raise the consciousness of the entire workplace. People stop draining energy with "why me" narratives and start asking, what's next? This chapter is the turning point, where victimhood ends and leadership begins. Chapter 6. Feedback is a gift, not an attack. Most workplaces treat feedback like it's a landmine. Employees dread it. Managers tiptoe around it. But Wakeman turns that idea on its head. Feedback isn't an insult, it's a gift. One of the greatest acts of respect a leader can offer is to tell someone the truth. But here's the twist. Wakeman also says the receiver of feedback holds all the power. You can't control how someone delivers feedback, but you can control how you receive it. If you're emotionally mature, any feedback, however clumsily delivered, can be mined for gold. She encourages people to treat feedback like GPS. You don't scream at your GPS for saying, recalculating. You thank it and move on. Feedback should be the same. It's simply information that gets you back on course. So next time someone says, can I give you some feedback? Say, yes please, and mean it. Chapter 7. Ditch the drama, lead the revolution. By the time we reach this chapter, Wakeman has pulled no punches. She's made it clear, drama is optional, ego is expensive, and accountability is the gateway to results. Now she turns to you, the leader, and asks the big question, are you ready to lead the revolution? Leadership in the no-ego model means being less of a caretaker and more of a truth-teller. It's about raising the bar, not lowering it to accommodate everyone's comfort zones. It means refusing to coddle emotional drama and instead elevating the conversation. Wakeman's message to leaders: stop wasting time fixing people's feelings. Start developing their resilience. Build teams who take responsibility for their energy, their results, and their impact. She even challenges performance management itself, arguing that we should stop measuring effort and start measuring impact. Because in the real world, the scoreboard doesn't care how hard you tried. It only cares whether the ball went in the net. Final thoughts. Reality is your friend, and so is accountability. If no ego could be tattooed in one line across every break room in the country, it would be this: argue less, or more. Grow fast. Cy Wakeman doesn't sugarcoat it. She doesn't believe in pampering emotions, feeding egos, or lowering expectations to boost engagement. She believes in truth, accountability, and self-reflection as the cornerstones of personal and professional growth. This book isn't just for CEOs or HR leaders. It's for anyone who's tired of workplace dysfunction and wants to create a culture where people grow up, show up, and level up. Because at the end of the day, Wakeman's philosophy is simple: drama is a choice. Victimhood is a mindset. And results don't come from whining. They come from rising above your ego and meeting reality head-on.